Greetings, ladies and gentle readers. I'm Dwyer, and I didn't just finish reading me The Hedge Wizard 5, a progression fantasy adventure, but I can't not review it. I can't not review it. I'm not even gonna hide my opinion on this. I think The Hedge Wizard is one of the greatest lit RPG progression novels. It's currently ongoing. It's probably one of the best of all time currently. There, I said it. I said it. I said it. Now, why do I believe that? Well, one, it feels the most believable. Not because it doesn't have outlandish things happening in it. I mean, you can see in the cover right there, there's freaking dragons, dude. If we look at previous covers, same thing. We've got like fire and brimstone. We got big apple trees, let's just call them. More dragons. There's dungeons. There's a lot of stuff. So what do I mean when I say it's one of the most believable? Well, just take the characters, for example. One place, a lot of lit RPG, most of the lit RPG in my maybe avoided playlist that I got on the channel. You can go or click around and find that. They fail at the characters. A lot of times you just have a character and every other character in the world in that book is just revolving around the main character in some fashion. And if the main character's not there, nothing else in the world is really happening. And that just sucks. You just get yanked directly out of the story at that point because you see how painfully shallow the writing is, right? And again, I understand why that happens. A lot of people are writing books every 2 months or so, sometimes 3, and then they've got like week or 2 of editing, and then bam, it's out the door. You know which ones I'm referring to. Because over the last couple of years, you've got some series numbering up to book friggin' 10 at this point. Like, if you don't give it time to be written properly, your series is going to be flat and lifeless. It's that simple. And this series, 676 pages, very respectable. Book 6 is on the way, where I pointed at nothing when I just showed. Yeah, there we go. Book 6 is on the way. When is that going to be? When's that coming out? Is it going to be in February, like all of the other lit RPG? No, this is taking a year, dude. Yeah, this will be out in November. A little under, about 12 months. Now, some people are like, oh, I hate that. You need to write faster. No, you freaking don't. If you want to tell your story well, you absolutely do not have to do that. And if you do, you'll destroy your story. And this person is not destroying their story. And you can tell in the little things, like circling back to the characters. Some of them up and leave and do their own thing. And not because, they got into a falling out and so they've cursed their entire family for 50 million generations. Nothing like that. It's just that, the other characters also got stuff going on, right? And they got stuff to do. So we'll see them again, but they're making a living too. They gotta go do stuff. And little things like that really sell the believability of this world. The fact that they're taking time, thinking, okay, my character's doing this. What is the rest of the world doing while this is going on? Okay, which one of my characters would be interested in what else is going on? Okay, then they're not going to be in this book. Yeah, they're going off and doing other stuff, as you would expect. Well, not totally. There's like a chapter or whatever mentioning the things that they're doing, or, catching you up on that for those who are interested. And that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. You got characters going down completely different paths while the main character's off doing his thing. And that is fantastic. But it goes beyond that. In this book in particular, great example of both of these things, because you've got, small spoiler, you got Bud. And while our lovely wizard Hump here was off in book 4 doing stuff with, you can't see my mouse. Why is that? Oh, there we go. While was off doing things with this great tree with his companion and the dragon, try to avoid spoilers. Well, he was off on the front lines of essentially the Forsaken Lands, fighting the undead. That didn't always go well. And he's kind of changing as a result. And we're getting caught up with that in the story. But there's also a thing that I really enjoyed from the first frigging book. The concept of the dungeon, Little things like the very concept of a dungeon. A lot of lit RPGs and, progression stuff. They're dungeons. Okay, great. What are they? For the most part, they're just a plot device to make the character arbitrarily stronger. They don't really tie dungeons into the world. And this author isn't making that mistake. Like, okay, if dungeons exist in the world, how are we doing this? How does this make sense? Because there's a lot of mistakes, a lot of lit RPGs, just kind of yada yada over, that don't make sense. One of them, that dungeons are spawning like every single day. Really? Like, yeah, there's like hundreds or thousands of teams out there clearing dungeons constantly. They're everywhere and they're always spawning and yada yada yada. And monsters are coming out of them? Yeah. Constantly. That would put a certain strain on the entire world, because it would give the sense that, okay, that means we're one breath away from all becoming extinct. Because if you screw up for a week, that's 7 dungeons that are letting monsters out that have gone uncleared. A month, now you've got 30. How do you tackle that? Like, there would be a sense of urgency. Like, the entire world would essentially be built around the concept of finding, locating, and removing them ASAP. And instead, we don't really have that. We just have, like, them going off willy-nilly and clearing and who cares. And ultimately, the dungeon itself is immaterial, other than just a plot point, like I mentioned. In this book, on the other hand, we don't have that. Because that is a way they could have gone. Make them like really, really fast and spawning all over the place. Like, Or make them important. Make them important. The entire first book was set up around the concept of there is a dungeon. And this dungeon, it's its own ecosystem. The things that live in there aren't just mindless NPCs. They are creatures with their own culture that want to fight back, come out, maybe even kill everybody. And the undertaking to clear something like that is monumentous. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. And the time and effort that takes to do that is what advances the characters. It's not something you just like show up as, Joe saves a lot. It's like, okay, I am now off over there and I will clear everything by myself. And wow, they're all dead and I've gained 500 levels and all of these stat points and all of this really great gear that the author is just throwing my way is now mine. Ha 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 ha. No. No. Huge endeavor. Lives are going to be lost. But the act of clearing it and the time it takes to clear it, that is what is important. Why they are clearing it, that is important. How that benefits people, that is important. We see it again with this book. They go into a dungeon. The dungeon is huge. It's full of demons. And it takes a combined might of a lot of moving parts to not only break through the outer gates of this dungeon and to get to the demons within, but it requires sacrifice, it requires time, a little bit of luck, and the stakes have already been spelled out because not clearing it will destroy the surrounding countryside, as has happened in the world before. So you understand the stakes because they've already shown you. You get the you understand the size of what is going on because they've introduced it in the first book, and we're just getting a larger scale. You understand the powers that are going after it, after the dungeon to clear it, because we've seen them too, and we have context for how powerful they are. And it doesn't feel like anything is just like made up on the fly. Things are naturally progressing towards where they should, given the world that's being developed. I haven't really seen an instance of, the heavy hand of the author going, and now you will have plot armor. Not so much. Be careful with the characters because the characters could be killed. So all of these little things easily make it one of the best currently ongoing Litrpg progression novels. It's also going to be something that a lot of the wish fulfillment crowd will not like. Because a lot of them, like a lot of those types of, that type of audience, they just want to see someone go out into the woods and kill 800 monsters and get everything and find something super special and be super noticed by another super special and not really have to work hard for anything. Primal Hunter, I'm sorry, I don't like it. It's guilty of this. And at the very least, the first 2 books. I don't know about after that because I stopped reading. But that type of book is not what this series is, because you can tell this series has had a lot of planning, a lot of world building, a lot of character development. It's very unfortunate to me that this only has respectable 3,000 reviews, but it should be over 10,000. It should be over 10,000. That is what I believe. The development of the character is hard-earned. It's not just given to him like so many others, including the one I just named. And you're really rooting for the character. You're understanding what they're going through because the author has done a very good job of giving you an idea of what can and can't happen in the story. And they're not just snapping that over and over again to push a new plot direction or a plot point or to grant some stupid power out of nowhere, because they're not taking their time to flesh out their story before they start writing it. So I heavily recommend this. If you're in this genre at all, you gotta love Hedge Wizard. You've gotta love Hedge Wizard. It's an example of the Litrpg progression scene done well, when it's not rushed and given the time it needs to really go forward. It's all there is to it. And it's all there is to it. So I loved 5. I'm looking forward to 6. The entire series is rereadable AF, and I can't recommend it enough. I just hope that where they're going, where the author's going, I hope that they continue to pace themselves, write the series properly, and as we're probably slowly getting towards the back half of the series, I hope they manage to stick the landing, because it's been an absolute joy to read so far. Can't recommend it enough. Pick it up. Again, You like fantasy, you like lit RPG, you like progression, you should absolutely like this. On that note, that's my review of the series, of the book, sorry. Time to see if I can find another one that I can recommend. 2 in a row. Stranger things have happened.